Welcome back to another episode of Cinematic Journey. Today, we dive deep into the 2024 reimagining of a beloved cult classic, The Crow. This dark, supernatural thriller brings a fresh take on the iconic story of revenge, love, and redemption. Directed by Rupert Sanders, this new adaptation promises an intense journey through grief, addiction, and the battle between good and evil. Let's get started with 10 interesting facts about the movie, followed by a detailed breakdown of the story, and finally wrap up with our conclusion. Unlike the original 1994 film, The Crow offers a unique narrative twist, focusing on addiction, trauma, and the supernatural pact with the devil. This version adds deeper layers to the storyline, diverging from its predecessors by blending horror, mysticism, and psychological drama. Rupert Sanders, known for Snow White and the Huntsman, directs this iteration, bringing a gritty and visually dark approach to the film. His distinct style enhances the atmosphere of despair and violence that defines the world of The Crow. Eric, the film's protagonist, is played by rising star Bill Skarsgård, who portrays the tormented character with a mix of vulnerability and intensity. FKA Twigs plays Shelley, adding emotional depth and fragility to her performance. This film hints at an expanded universe for The Crow, delving into the supernatural lore and the deeper spiritual conflict between life, death, and the afterlife, especially through the character of Kronos, the spirit guide. The 2024 version shifts focus onto addiction and the struggles of the characters, especially Eric and Shelley, who both face their demons in more ways than one, adding complexity and relatability to the story. The role of Sophia, Shelley's mother, adds a tragic twist to the film as she becomes entangled with Vincent Rogue's schemes, driven by her own desire for wealth. This dark subplot further deepens the film's themes of betrayal and redemption. The film uses cutting-edge CGI to create eerie, nightmarish sequences in Eric's afterlife experiences, creating a distinct, otherworldly aesthetic that contrasts with the grittiness of his life on Earth. One of the film's most impressive action sequences takes place in a grand opera house, where Eric faces Rogue's henchmen. The bloody, brutal fight culminates in an epic showdown between Eric and Marion. While the 2024 version differs in tone and plot, there are subtle homages to the original 1994 The Crow, especially in the visual representation of Eric's resurrection and his vengeful journey. Vincent Rogue's pact with the devil, in which he trades innocent souls for immortality, adds a supernatural element that underpins the entire story, making the final battle a cosmic struggle between good and evil. The 2024 version of The Crow opens in a grim rehabilitation center, where we are introduced to Eric, a deeply troubled soul who is haunted by his past. Eric is not just battling his drug addiction, he's also grappling with a traumatic childhood that has left him scarred emotionally and mentally. His days in rehab are marked by nightmares and inner turmoil as he tries to reconcile his present life with the haunting shadows of his past. The rehab center, bleak and claustrophobic, feels more like a prison than a place of healing, reinforcing Eric's internal struggle. He doesn't feel at peace here and is continuously weighed down by the darkness in his mind. Shelley, a musician, also arrives at the same rehabilitation center, and like Eric, she too is plagued by a troubled past. Her connection to the city's underworld runs deep, entangling her in a web of crime, deceit, and danger. Shelley's life takes a dangerous turn when her friend Zadie sends her an incriminating video that reveals the true nature of Vincent Roeg, a crime lord who hides behind a facade of sophistication and high culture as a musical aristocrat. In truth, Roeg is a malevolent figure who has made a supernatural pact centuries ago, trading innocent souls to hell in exchange for immortality. This revelation is captured on the video Zadie sends to Shelley. Shelley understands the gravity of what she possesses. The video is a death sentence. If Rogue or his henchmen find out that she has it, they will hunt her down without mercy. Knowing this, Shelley makes the brave choice to keep the video, determined to stop Roeg from continuing his reign of terror. Her decision to safeguard the video shows her resolve, but it also puts her life in immediate danger. Roeg's henchmen, led by the ruthless Marion, begin to hunt Shelley, determined to retrieve the video and silence her forever. The chase is swift and intense, with Shelley barely managing to evade capture. However, fate intervenes when Shelley is arrested for drug possession, inadvertently saving her from Roeg's hit squad. Ironically, it is this imprisonment that brings her to the same rehab center where Eric is staying. Zadie, meanwhile, is not as fortunate. Roeg captures her, and in a chilling scene he interrogates her, revealing the full extent of his supernatural powers. Roeg is not just a mere crime lord. He is a man who has made a dark pact with the devil. Centuries ago, Roeg agreed to send innocent souls to hell in exchange for eternal life. He uses his malevolent power to control and manipulate those around him, and Zadie becomes his latest victim. Back at the rehabilitation center, Shelley's presence soon catches Eric's attention. Despite their shared struggles, or perhaps because of them, the two form a deep connection. Eric, a loner who has long struggled to trust others, finds himself drawn to Shelley's strength and vulnerability. Shelley, in turn, is captivated by Eric's raw intensity and quiet suffering. The chemistry between them grows, and over time, they fall in love. The relationship becomes a rare moment of light in their otherwise dark lives, and for a while, they share a fragile hope that together, they might find peace. Their bond is genuine, built on shared pain and mutual understanding. However, this brief respite is shattered when Marion, Roeg's deadly enforcer, arrives at the rehab center. Shelley knows that Marion's presence means one thing. Roeg has found her, and the time to run is now. In a panic, Shelley convinces Eric to flee with her. They take refuge in the abandoned home of one of Shelley's friends, where for a fleeting moment, they attempt to live a carefree life, away from the chaos of Roeg's world. The house, empty and decaying, becomes a metaphor for their lives, once full of potential, now broken and abandoned. Despite the looming danger, Eric and Shelley cherish these moments of peace, dreaming of a future that will never come. Their happiness is short-lived. Roeg's men track them down, and in a brutal and harrowing scene, both Eric and Shelley are mercilessly murdered. The violence is swift and overwhelming, with Eric unable to protect the woman he loves. As they lie dying, their hands reach for each other, a final act of love before the darkness overtakes them. But death is not the end for Eric. He awakens in a strange, purgatory-like rail yard, where he meets Kronos, a mysterious and otherworldly spirit guide. Kronos explains that Eric's journey is not yet over. Shelley's soul is still at risk, and the only way for Eric to be reunited with her is to defeat Roeg and end his reign of terror. Revived by supernatural forces, Eric returns to the world of the living, but he is no longer the man he once was. Gifted with the ability to heal from any injury, Eric is transformed into an unstoppable force of vengeance. His first mission is to find Sophia, Shelley's estranged mother, who is revealed to have played a key role in her daughter's demise. In a shocking twist, Sophia confesses that she had made a deal with Roeg. She sold Shelley's soul in exchange for wealth and power. This betrayal devastates Eric, but he leaves Sophia to her guilt. Soon after, Roeg visits Sophia himself, and in a cold and calculating act, forces her to jump off the roof of her building when he is unsatisfied with her answers. Sophia's death underscores Roeg's merciless nature and his willingness to destroy anyone who defies him. Fueled by rage, Eric embarks on a bloody quest for revenge, hunting down Roeg's henchmen one by one. The brutality of his attacks is relentless, each kill bringing him closer to Roeg. During this journey, Eric discovers Shelley's phone, which contains the incriminating video of Roeg. In the video, Shelley is seen being forced by Roeg to murder an innocent woman. This revelation shakes Eric to his core. His love for Shelley begins to waver, as he questions whether he truly knew the woman he loved. This moment of doubt causes Eric to lose his supernatural ability to heal, leaving him vulnerable. In a confrontation with Roeg's men, Eric is killed once again, unable to defend himself without his powers. Back in the afterlife, Eric makes a desperate deal with Kronos. He agrees to take Shelley's place in Hell, condemning his own soul for eternity, in exchange for another chance to kill Roeg and free Shelley. Kronos, intrigued by Eric's resolve, agrees to the bargain. Revived for a second time, Eric is now more determined than ever to finish what he started. Roeg, now fully aware of Eric's supernatural abilities, plots to use those powers for his own gain. He orders Marion to lure Eric into a trap, intending to steal his regenerative abilities. Eric tracks her to a grand opera house where Roeg's men lie in wait. What follows is one of the most intense and visually stunning sequences in the film. Eric, fueled by rage and desperation, tears through Roeg's men with savage precision, his attacks more brutal than ever before. The opera house becomes a blood-soaked battleground, with Eric showing no mercy. In a final confrontation with Marion, she reluctantly reveals Roeg's location, knowing that her fate is sealed. Eric decapitates her, showing the depth of his vengeful transformation. The stage is set for the ultimate showdown. Eric confronts Roeg in the afterlife, dragging him into the purgatory-like realm where their powers are evenly matched. The fight is brutal, but Eric, driven by love and vengeance, finally gains the upper hand. He destroys Roeg once and for all, freeing the souls that Roeg had condemned, including Shelley's. In the film's bittersweet conclusion, Eric and Shelley are briefly reunited in the afterlife. They share a moment of peace, but their reunion is short-lived. Shelley is revived in the real world, waking on the night of their deaths. She is left to mourn Eric, who sacrificed himself to save her. In a haunting final scene, Kronos, disguised as a medic, informs Shelley of Eric's ultimate sacrifice. Though heartbroken, Shelley is comforted by the knowledge that their souls will one day be reunited. Eric, now content with his fate, disappears into the afterlife, his love for Shelley eternal. The Crow is a masterful reimagining of the classic story, bringing new depth and emotional complexity to the tale of vengeance, love, and redemption. Eric's journey from a broken man to a supernatural force of revenge is both tragic and inspiring, as he battles not only his enemies, but his own inner demons. The film's exploration of addiction, trauma, and the supernatural adds layers of complexity, making this version of The Crow a gripping and heart-wrenching tale. At its core, The Crow remains a story about the enduring power of love and the sacrifices we make for those we hold dear, even in the face of death and despair. We hope you enjoyed this cinematic journey, so please like the video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Tell us in the comments your favorite movie this year. Until then, see you in the next episode.